Stupid Fast Nation? How are you guys doing today? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Check this out. I bring you guys here for a couple reasons. Number one, I want to talk through the 400EX top 5 modifications that I recommend, my top 5 favorite. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll give you a bonus 6th. Also, got this beautiful gem next to me, this 1994 Ford Escort wagon.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up, matter what, told you I'ma do me, why you hating on me, it's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck.
Now, I was going to take this thing to the scrapyard. I was daily driving it for a couple weeks. It is a heap, let me tell you. But Mike convinced me to take this thing and use it to make some videos. So I thought, well, hell, we're creeping up on the 10,000 subscriber mark. If we can get to 10,000 subscribers very quickly, I will do some crazy off-the-wall shit with this Ford Escort. So if you haven't already, make sure you drop that subscribe. If you like the content, hit the like, share, and thanks for following, guys. Now, on to the good stuff. So guys, as you can see here to my left, I got the perfectly bone stock 2000 Honda 400EX, the TRX 400EX. This is the one from the Quad Warz series that me and Michael Sabo put together for you guys. Also, if you like that, make sure you let us know in the comments below. We love the feedback. We've been reading all the comments, getting all the feedback, and putting everything together for the future series of Quad Warz. Alright guys, so I apologize if there's a lot of wind today. If the wind noise on the microphone's too much, I'm really sorry about that. But I also wanted to mention in the description below, there is a link to Rocky Mountain ATV. This is my personal affiliate link for the channel, Stupid Fast John. It's where I also order a lot of my ATV parts for the builds we're doing for the Quad Warz stuff. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you go check out Rocky Mountain. Use the link below. Really helps me out. I get a tiny commission rate from it. Really appreciate it, guys. But anyways, let's get back to the modifications. Alright guys, so we're gonna work from the bottom up. We're going to start at the 5th modification that I would do and work our way up to my top favorite, and then I'll give you guys the bonus one. All right guys, so number 5. I would start with the airbox lid and filter. I would pop the airbox lid off. I would get a high flow K&N filter, something top-notch brand for that. Whenever you open up the flow, you have to rejet the carburetor. That's anytime you make a difference in air and fuel mixture inside the engine, you always have to check your jetting. There's several different methods to checking your jetting. I'm not going to get into those in this video. We're going to stick to the modifications for the 400, but make sure you guys know you have to rejet when you do flow modifications that affect your air and fuel for the engine. So that makes number 5, taking the airbox lid off and putting a high flow filter in. All right guys, and number 4, header and slip-on, a full exhaust system. Now, if you guys didn't already, Michael Sabo put up a resonant video. I'm gonna put a link here. Make sure you guys go check that out if you have not. We compare a couple different exhaust sounds and power differences. So if you guys haven't seen that, make sure you pop over, check that out. But that is the 4th in my top 5 list. You get an aftermarket header and a slip-on exhaust. And again, you have to change the jetting. I cannot stress this enough, guys. Now, for our video, for the 5 minutes putting around here in my backyard, we just tossed the exhaust on, didn't rejet it. And I'll tell you, it was already a considerable difference in power across the entire range without even jetting it. But that means the engine was definitely running lean. So again, make sure you jet it. All right guys, and number 3, we're gonna move on to big bore kits and high compression pistons. Now, you can go all the way from mild to wild on these builds. You can do everything from a 416 all the way up to a 465, or stay with a stock board and just increase your compression ratio. But keep in mind, anytime you guys do something like increase the compression ratio, normally if you go above 12:1, you have to run race fuel. It is elevation specific above sea level, but my personal recommendation is at least 100 octane for 12-to-1, and moving up from there, you increase the octane each step you go. So there's no set in stone chart. You have to be able to know what you're looking for and dealing with when it comes to jetting, spark plugs, and noises from the engine, because you do not want any detonation inside the cylinder. It will melt down your engine very easily. A great example to the big bore and the compression ratio change would be Mike's 400EX. If you guys didn't see the second episode of Quad Warz, make sure you check that out. It's in the links, guys. We added the 416 big bore and a 11-to-1 compression ratio, which is pretty mild in terms of compression, because you can go all the way up to a 13-to-1 compression ratio, which is pretty high. So with that being said, that makes number 3. That brings us to number 2, one of my personal favorites, the camshaft. Guys, can't tell you enough, in any type of motorsports and a 4-stroke application engine where it has a rotating camshaft to open up the valves, increasing the duration and lift on the camshaft makes a huge difference in how much performance you're getting out of the engine. So putting all of these things that increase flow on the engine, like taking the lid off, putting a high flow filter in, putting a big bore kit in with more compression, and then putting a full exhaust system on, and then adding a camshaft really brings these things to life. And guys, I can't stress this enough. Again, anytime you increase the flow, what do you gotta do? You gotta change your jetting. You're gonna always be adding more fuel every time you increase the air that this motor can suck in. So you have to keep that ratio balanced, or else you're gonna run lean. So make sure you check the jetting after you add these modifications. Again, camshafts, all the way from mild to wild. Hot Cams offers a stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. If I remember right, looking on the website for webcams, they offer a cam for most 4-stroke applications that goes all the way up to 270 inches of lift. That's a lot of lift, guys. And some people were noting the ticking noise in Mike's yellow 400. And that is due to the stage 2 hot cam. Now, granted it was only a stage 2, but still adding that much considerable lift difference, even though it wasn't 270 inches of lift, was still enough that when the lobe goes around for the cam, the rocker can tap it slightly. So yeah, guys, that's number 2. Now, on to my favorite modification. This is a pretty heavy duty modification, so if you guys have a couple bucks to spare in your build, or some time and knowledge and experience, this would be my favorite modification, and that would be porting. Porting a cylinder head for more flow. A lot of times from the manufacturer, the chambers for the valves, your intake and exhaust, they are super restricted from the factory, and there's so much casting material in there that you have a lot of material you can remove from each of your intake and exhaust valves to increase the flow. Now granted, some applications require you to put a bigger carburetor on, bigger intake, bigger, higher flowing exhaust system, because they do have a such thing as a big core exhaust system for the really big bore, big stroker 400EXs. That's actually something I need to look into getting. But most of your standard exhausts are just a standard core. They're meant for normal big bore kits. They're not meant for the off the wall stroker stuff. But yeah, guys, if you can afford it, I definitely recommend getting a port job. All these modifications kind of complement each other, but porting, again, opens up so much flow into the engine, and you also have to jet it. Now guys, I am going to give you a bonus tip for the 400EX. It is on you guys to figure out how to accomplish this, but +5 timing. Advanced Mike's yellow 400EX's timing by 5 degrees, and I will tell you that was one of the first modifications we did. With +5 timing, we did have to start using race fuel. So keep that in mind, guys. If you decide to advance the timing 5 degrees and lighten the flywheel, you should definitely think about running race fuel. If not, you could develop detonation and melt down the piston. Now you guys are probably wondering, how much does all this stuff cost? Well, Mike just did a breakdown video of the 400EX, also above in the link, guys, so go check it out. And he actually explains in depth the cost and analysis of all the modifications that he did to his yellow 400EX. Keep in mind, searching on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, these are places and sources you can find used parts for a good deal, so that you don't have to spend an arm and a leg on all brand new stuff. So yeah, guys, that is my top 5, technically top 6 modifications list for the 400EX. If you guys like this info, you want to see more videos like this, make sure you give me a like, share. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the Rocky Mountain link below, really helps me out. And give me a comment, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If If you want to see this thing, help me get to 10,000. Let's beat the piss out of this car. Angry Ginge moment. Oh yeah, and one other thing, guys, Facebook groups. Me and Mike actually started a Facebook group called Quad Warz. That's Quad Warz with a Z. If that sounds interesting enough to you, it's actually a community we're trying to build to actually help you guys out. It's actually not even for us, it's for you guys. It's for tech tips, modifications to get some spotlight on your guys' rides. It's really not about us. So if you guys are really interested in that, make sure you hop over to Facebook, check that out. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.